You know, we're really pleased we're getting more and more brand new suppliers here at Hobbymaker. Well, wait until you hear the latest. Cricut is joining us at Hobbymaker. And we've got exclusive deals just for us at Hobbymaker featuring the Joy and the Maker 3. And if the stock sells out, which it probably will, you won't see it again until next year. So make sure you join us this Thursday for the exclusive, exciting launch of Cricut on Hobbymaker. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Hope you slept well, and I hope you're keeping nice and warm. Welcome along. It is Hobbymaker, and you're waking up to Hobbymaker between now and between now and 8. Great to have your company. I'm Dave. What's lined up today then? Well, we've got a brilliant show coming up at 7 o'clock this morning of Creative Expressions. The lovely Gwen with her fantastic demos will be showing you Helen Colebrook's collection of dies and stamps and stencils. You can make your own diaries as well with a special kit that we got for you. That's coming up a bit later on. This show, though, is our Hobbymaker Rewind. Now, we do this every weekday morning between 6 and 7. Look back at some of the highlights of yesterday in case you missed some of our afternoon shows. So we'll do that soon. Now, also, we like to have a little bit of fun in the mornings. We like to have a bit of fun every day, to be honest. But we thought we'd give you a chance 3 times in a week to win yourself a £25 credit on your account. Now, all we ask you to do, if you're good at things like countdown and stuff like that, we're going to give you an anagram now. And if you can work out what the anagram is, here it is, you can win yourself a £25 credit. We'll give the winner at the end of the show, just before 7 a.m. this morning. So have a little look at this. If you can work out this very popular crafting product, you could be getting a £25 credit. So there you go. Leridor Orb Schrebler Koya. What do you reckon that could be? If you know what that is, it's a really, really popular product that we have here at Hobbymaker. Just work out the letters. The letters in the first word are where they should be. Well, they're in the wrong place, but you know what I mean. All the letters in the first word should be in the first word. All the letters in the second word should be in the second word. Work out what that is. Email your answer in as soon as you can, in between your sips of tea and coffee, to studio@hobbymaker.co.uk. And Ellie, who's our producer at random, will pick a winner who gets it correct, and we'll announce that winner just before 7 o'clock this morning. So you've got about 50 minutes to get your answers in, okay? So what could that be? It's a really well-known, popular crafting product here at Hobbymaker. Let me introduce you to the team who's in this morning, who's braving the cold morning, and luckily it wasn't too bad driving into work this morning. Hopefully it won't be too bad on your journey. In the studio, we've got Finn on camera too. Hello, mates. Gorgeous Dan is around the corner. Morning, Dan. There he is. Hey! In the studio, that's who's in the studio with me. In the gallery today, we've got lovely Ellie producing, and we've also got Adam on knobs and buttons. There he is, our director. And was it Lauren, our newbie? Hello, morning. Lauren's in training, so good to have you here. Good to have you watching as well. Get in touch with the show, studio@hobbymaker.co.uk, and could win yourself a £25 credit. Now, yesterday we had Hunky Dory on the show. Hunky Dory, one of our most popular brands that we bring you. Now, I thought I'd seen everything that Hunky Dory bring, but I have not seen this first product I'm going to show you. And what they've done is they've put together a really clever envelope making kit, okay? Now, envelopes normally, when you're a card maker, you don't really, well, maybe you do think of the envelopes, but often you've just kind of give no thought to the envelope whatsoever. But Hunky Dory have given thought to your envelope making. Now, envelopes, you need to be able to make them in different sizes. You need to be able to make them very often in different depths as well. So if you've got maybe some decoupage or anything that's kind of, maybe you've got like a globe card, you know, with those plastic spheres on the front, anything that's got a bit of height to it, you want to be able to make an envelope that could actually be classed as like a box. Well, this kit is really, really cool because what you've got here is a book that gives you instructions on how to make loads of different envelopes in loads of different sizes. You will need a scoreboard, an adorable scoreboard would be pretty handy. We've got that in the show for you if you want to get one. If you've already got a scoreboard, I know literally thousands of you have, you don't need anything else really apart from what's in this kit. And it shows you how you can use your glue. There's a punch that comes in this bundle as well, so you can actually have your fancy edges and corners, which I'll show you in a second. But it shows you in pictures and words as well well how you can make your own bespoke letters, whether you're making a square card, whether you're making a DL card, whatever shape and size you wish within reason, you can make, of course, and how to decorate it. There's loads of hints and tips in this little book. So that's the first thing. So you get loads of instructions. If you're making maybe stationery for weddings, engagement, that sort of thing, save the date, all that stuff, you can save yourself hundreds and hundreds of pounds by doing it yourself. And this will show you how you can make really simple and plain envelopes, but also more fancy ones as well. Decorate the flaps on the envelopes too, which is cool. So that's the book that comes with it. But then, of course, you need paper. Now, that's the tricky thing normally, because obviously envelopes take up quite a bit of paper with all the folds and all the wraps. So you want to have cardstock or paper that's the perfect size. So they've given you at Hunky Dory gorgeous, and I mean literally gorgeous, 12 by 12 designer papers. And you're going to get 8 designs, 6 of each. That's actually 48 printed papers that you can, of course, trim down if you're making smaller envelopes, or you can leave the full 12 by 12 if that's what you need. But you've got beautiful patterns on here. Now, obviously, with an envelope, you don't want anything to be too bold. So you've got some beautiful, beautiful printed images. There's text on this one, like vintage newspaper. You've got some really lovely distressed patterns, which have been done for you as well. So 48 12 by 12 sheets. Now, this was one of our most popular items yesterday because I think for an awful lot of people, envelopes aren't really a thought. You know, you don't give it too much thought because you kind of think an envelope's an envelope, just pure white will do fine. But yeah, why not make the envelope as special as the card that goes inside it? So you get all of these 12 by 12 papers. If you've got any 12 by 12 paper pads from Hunky Dory or from other ranges as well, you can use those, of course, too, to make your envelopes. But then very cleverly, they give you this. Now, this is a punch. Now, if I just show you, I'll use the actual packaging to show you how you can use this. It's got basically 2 different looks. You can either have a notch or you can have a corner. So if I just show you the notch to start off with, it kind of gives you that kind of domed edge to the edge of your paper. So that could be maybe on your envelope flap, for example. If I turn it round, the other side, you've got a totally different effect. This is your corner. So that gives you a rounded outer edge, and that gives you a rounded inner edge. So it just kind of gives you that professional finish, that professional look. It looks a lot nicer, a lot softer than having an angular kind of 45-degree corner. Now, let's get that price in, because this is going to be a God saver. This is going to be a pound saver as well. Now, it should be £30.97 for all 48 sheets and the punch and the book. £19.99 is your price. AQHD06. Now, we've only got a handful of these left. Not many of these remain at all. Let me show you some of the envelopes that have been made here. Now, this one is made from that newspaper print that I showed you a few minutes ago. And how cool is that? It looks really, really smart. And I've used the punch on that one, so obviously you can leave it rectangular or right angles if you want to as well. And this is another one of the papers. Aren't they sweet? But all the sizes that you need, how big the paper you need to have, or how large the paper you need to have, is actually in the handbook as well. You can make square envelopes. You could even make some that are pretty big. This is an 8 by 8 or 7 by 7, I think, just at a glance. But again, it's all about basically giving you a craft and giving you a skill that maybe you never really thought about. I mean, there are other ways of making envelopes. I know our Crafters Companion have done something in the past to give you the chance to make your own envelopes, but I've never seen Hunky Dory do it before. So Pamela's in North Yorkshire, whether it's envelopes for maybe quotes, maybe you send out quotes for business or something like that, always sending little notes maybe to relatives and friends, and you can never find the right envelope size for what you're needing. But if you've got adorable scoreable cardstock, look at this. You can actually make an envelope box. So here you've got a good, 1/4 of an inch, I'd say, in depth here. So if you've got any of your decoupage cards or anything that's quite delicate that you want to make into something a lot stronger, you can put it into this. I mean, this is actually really thick, 350 GSM cardstock, as you know, with Adorable Scoreable. But you can make your Adorable Scoreable cards. 48 sheets of 12 by 12 in here. And the capability to use other cardstock you've already got and other papers that you've already got, of course, in your craft stash. I mean, look, this one's almost like CD size. Really sweet. So you can make it into not just an envelope, but an envelope into a present. That could have a gift tag inside it. It could have all sorts of things inside it, but it's got this lovely kind of fold over flap to it. And you could put some Velcro or maybe a brad on there if you wanted to as well. You're making it into more like a wallet. So yeah, brand new. I'd not seen this before. It was a huge success yesterday. We only have a few of these left. Most of the stock went yesterday, but you still have the chance to get hold of this. And what I love is it just literally talks you through the size of paper or card that you need for whatever of the styles that you choose in here. If I just kind of find, there we are, look at this one. Pamela's checked out, nice one. SA in Leicestershire, hello to you, you're coming through for this as well. But you know, you can actually, using your scoreboard that you've got already, or the scoreboard that's in the show, crease your cardstock if you want to make this almost like concertina envelope. So you've got the envelope part at the bottom, and then you could have maybe photographs of the family on all these other panels, and all concertinas down, and you can just pop it in the post if you wanted to, or pop it through someone's door. So it doesn't have to be an ordinary envelope. This is more like a wallet here. We've got a little button on the front just down there as well, so you can put like a little gift card inside, or just a card inside, and then fold over the flaps. You don't have to always have it glued down if you don't want to. That's the one I've just shown you, actually. Isn't that lovely? Imagine having like an RSVP in there or something like that, a wedding invitation or a party invitation. I mean, that, if you got that professionally done, would cost you a small fortune. They'd probably be pounds each from a stationer. If you're getting like 150 or 200 invitations done, that is going to cost you, you know, a lot of money. You can do it yourself now. Maybe you got hold of the adorable Scorable cardstock a few days ago when they brought out their new 2023 colours. Well, bearing in mind, I think this is one of those colours. I mean, look. This is fantastic. I think my favourite envelope is this. I do love this. That could have a little RSVP in the bottom of it. We've used Adorable Scorable, scored it with our scoreboard. You fold it in the right places because you've got the knowledge and the know-how in this book, together with the 48 sheets of 12 by 12 and the corner punch as well, which just gives you that professional finish. Alison's in West Yorkshire. Penny in Wiltshire's checked out. Wow, you're up early this morning. Thank you for getting up early. Where I stay here, I drove up yesterday afternoon. Luckily, the roads weren't too bad. But where I stay here, I stay in like a little flat that's been built onto someone's house, which is really nice. But I think the person who I rent the place off of when I stay didn't realise I get up at like 4:30 in the morning to come to work. So I don't think the heating kicks in till about 8 o'clock. I got out of bed this morning, like, oh my God, it's about -3. But anyway, hope you're not too chilly where you are. 19.99 is a great way to start our day today. If you want to get hold of this, let me just flick you through the papers again, because the pattern papers are lovely. You could also use these if you wanted to as inserts, because you can actually insert an envelope to make it even more luxurious. Just make it a little bit smaller than the actual envelope itself so it fits inside it. So you can have decorative panels inside the envelope, or just have wonderful decorative envelopes. I love getting envelopes that are patterned because I know they're not bills. You don't get a bill in a patterned envelope. You only get kind of usually happy news in a patterned envelope. So make your own. Thank you, Hunky Dory. I think long time in the coming. It's something that I've been thinking about for a little while. But because you've got this book here to show you all the different sizes, you know, it tells you here all the little table that you've got of the finished size, the starting size of paper you need to make that sort of size card. So it goes all the way down here. So like, for example, the 8x8 card, you need a 12.5-inch piece of paper. So 7x7 or 7.5 by 7.5 you could bake. You need an 11x11. So it gives you all the measurements that you need there too, which is really cool. And on the icing on the cake is the fact you got that punch to give yourself those decorative corners as well. So less than a £20 note. It's AQHD06. Loads of you are in this morning. Alison, Penny, Pamela, SA in Leicestershire as well. You're in too. And if you want bargains, this first hour of the morning is going to be right up your street, because when I show you what we got next from Hunky Dory, you're going to love it. And don't forget, if you're just switching on, if you can unjamble our anagram today. If you want to have a look at that anagram once again and jumble up the letters to make this really popular product that we sell here at Hobbymaker, you could win yourself, remember, a £25 well, I say voucher. It's a £25 credit that will be on your account if you're the lucky winner. And we'll announce the winner in just over half an hour's time, just before 7 o'clock, okay? So 2 words, what could that be? Unjamble the letters and see if you can win yourself a £25 account credit before 7 o'clock this morning. Okay, now, one of my other favourite things from Hunky Dory recently has been the layering stamps. Now, you can buy these as individuals, but the best value is to buy them as a set of 4, okay? Now, these layering stamps, I just think are absolutely gorgeous. This is the rose. Now, when you look at that, you might think, I don't quite get it. I can see the rose there, but what's that? And that's that, but slightly less, so I don't quite understand. Let me show you. If I turn this round, you use different colours in the same colour family. Well, you don't have to. You can do different colours completely and make it kind of pop art if you want to. But the idea is that the big black one there is the first layer that goes down. And that should be your lightest colour. And then the next stamp, number 2, goes on top of that in a slightly deeper colour. Then colour or stamp number 3 goes on again in a slightly deeper colour again. So you end up basically with 3 different colourways of the same colour family that give you that 3-dimensional rose. And it's the same with the leaves as well, because you actually just stamp the leaves once, twice, 3 times, and then you've got the veining on the leaves and all that sort of thing. I've got some finished cards here to show you. Let me see if I can find a rose quickly. I've got all of them. Ah, here we are. Look at this. Isn't that just beautiful? It makes it look like a photograph. Now, all of these are available separately at £10. I mean, can you, unless you've got layering stamps already, can you ever imagine creating something as realistic as that with the inks that you've either got at home already or the inks that we've got for you from Hunky Dory in the show today? But that really makes that rose and the foliage pop, doesn't it? I love it. So the rose is £10, LMHD 57. Now, we've got 4 different flowers. So if you're thinking, I probably want to go for all 4, don't buy them individually because we've got a special price on the set of 4, okay? Next one, this one is your gerbera. Now, one of the happiest flowers you can ever have is a gerbera, similar to a sunflower, always make you smile. Now, look at this. He's done this one. Kelly Lloyd has done both of these, actually. Morning, Kelly, if you're watching. Now, I said about pop art, look at that. How beautiful is that? So your gerbera, again, 1, 2, 3 layers. So light first, medium second, darker third, and it makes the whole flower pop. And this one has been done in yellow, again by Kelly. Look at that. Isn't that brilliant? So that's the second one. That's your gerbera. Third one is your peony, another happy flower. So step 1, step 2, step 3. And it's dead easy to do. If you've got a stamping platform or even just a stamping acrylic block, you just basically put the clean stamp down on each layer so you're in the right place, and away you go. You can't really go wrong with it. Where's the peony? Let me see if I can find the peony. That's this one here. And that's been done in different shades of red and orange. Isn't that lovely? Again, the foliage you can make 3D too. So that's your peony. And then the last one, my favourite flower of all, is the lily. I don't know why lily's my favourite flower. Sunflowers and lilies, I've always loved them. There we go. Let me show you these 2 here. This one's done by Kim Taylor. Hello, Kim, of the design team. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Now, that could be a happy card. It could be, if you need one, a sad card. I hope you don't. But lilies are always good for both occasions, really. Thinking of you. See, lovely. And you choose the colourways, what's appropriate. If someone's got a favourite colour or whatever, or just go for it with random colours and do your pop art, do your kind of pop art wall artwork. These will look great in frames, they look great as cards, obviously. So all of them should be 40 quid, £10 each. And if you do buy them individually, they are £10. Plus, remember, the lovely thing with us at Hobbymaker is that Cat P&P we all love so much, £3.95 for the whole day. No matter what you buy between midnight last night and midnight tonight, just £3.95. Now, if you want this set of 4, and who wouldn't, if you love one, you're going to love them all, I would imagine. LHHD04. LHHD04, that's the product code, and that will get you all 4 of them, but not 40 quid. We can scrub that out. We can let you have 1.5 of them free. Let's give you the price of £24.99 for all 4 sets. Wow. What does that make of the price of them then? It's about £6 each, isn't it? Yeah, that's £6.25 each, I think. That is amazing. I mean, I remember when the 3-dimensional stamps first came out, they took everybody by storm. Everyone absolutely loved them. Well, here's your chance to get all 4 of these. You know the stamps are going to be great quality because they're Moonstone stamps from, no, not Moonstone, beg your pardon. For the Love of Stamps, that's right, that's the brand with Hunky Dory, Moonstone's the dies. So for the Love of Stamps stamp set from Hunky Dory, all 4 sets, so easy, and they give you so much satisfaction because you see the image gradually start to appear and pop that final press of your block or of your stamping platform, and suddenly that flower just appears from nowhere. Absolutely brilliant, brilliant value. Give us a call on the free phone number. If you've just found us, we are Hobbymaker, and if you haven't shopped with us before, all you need to do is have an account with us, and the operator, the guys in the call centre and the ladies there will be able to set one up for you. Free to do that, free phone number from a landline and a mobile, 0800 001 4433. That will get you through to the call centre. They're here now, they're here through the night, they're here 24/7, they're here Christmas Day. We're here Christmas Day, live. Yeah, give them a call and they'll give you an account, and then they will make sure you get that in your basket. LHHD04, you'll love them. If you've never used layering stamps before, give them a go. They're so much fun, but they make your whole image just jump off the page. They really, really do. So $24.99, brilliant price for those. Free phone number, and the website's there as well, where you can see everything. Everything in our shows this morning between now and 8 is loaded on the website if you go to hobbymaker.co.uk. Excellent. Now, let's talk about the inks. Talking about stamps, we need to then move on to the inks. It all kind of works together beautifully. Now, I don't know if you've got your Christmas sorted yet for presents, or whether you're kind of, I'm going to go off after the show today and maybe do a little bit of shopping this afternoon for a few little bits of, a bit of extra here and there gifting. Now, these have been brand new. They've been out for about a month, I think, approximately, for maybe 5 weeks, something like that. And they are normally $129.59. These are the new inks from Prism. They're dye-based inks, and they are incredibly juicy. AOHD15 is the product code. AOHD15. Now, these are quite difficult to display, so we've just kind of laid them out in like a pyramid for you. But what we have done, and thank you guys at Hunky Dory for doing this, is they've given you a little swatch here of all the colours that you're going to be getting. Now, we get the handbook as well, which I'll come on to in a second. But look, all 40 of these colours are included in this bundle today, and they should be $129.59 for 40 ink pads. I mean, imagine having all of these colours literally at your fingertips, whether you're going to use them for backgrounds, whether you're going to use them to paint with. You can put them onto your craft mat, onto your glass mat, and then pick them up with a paintbrush and paint with them if you want to as well. There are so many ways of using these ink pads. Okay, that price is not what you're going to pay. Can you imagine where we're going to go with this? Just under £130 worth, and today, being the 14th of December, we're dropping it to less than £60. $59.99 for 40 ink pads. That's £1.50 per ink pad, not taking into account the book, which is worth a tenner. $29.99 on split pay as well. So maybe you're starting next year with brand new ink pads. Maybe you've never tried Prism ink pads before, you want to give them a go. Or maybe you're a fan of the previous set that we brought you. These are the new colours, okay? Every single one of them is brand new and featured in this book as well. Now, it could be that you might think, well, ink pads are ink pads. Why do I need a book to tell me how to use them? Well, you may find in here, and I'm sure you will actually, loads of ways of using them that you never really thought of before. And this has got, if I turn it round, there we are, look, down the bottom, $9.99. So it's almost like if you pay for that, you're getting all the 40 ink pads for 50 quid. How about that? But in the book, I mean, these crafting handbooks from Hunky Dory are brilliant because they appeal to everybody. They appeal to the beginner. They take everything from the very, very first steps, but they also give you some advanced techniques and tips in there as well. So it shows you all the colours you've got, and then it starts to show you how you can use them in lots and lots of different ways, step by step, page by page. Here's the layering technique that we were talking about with those layering stamps a few minutes ago. So if you've never done that before, you're not quite sure what colours to use, Hunky Dory will give you loads of hints and tips on in here. But there's literally pages and pages and pages of inspiration. In this book, it should be $9.99. You're going to get it with all 40 of the ink pads today for £59.99. Amazing that this is included too at no extra charge. And 40 different colours to enjoy. And these are really juicy. They last you such a long time. An instant collection of pads. If you normally buy your ink pads one at a time, and I think lots of us did that maybe until recently, that's the more expensive way of buying your ink pads. If you buy a collection, that's when we can do you the deal. You know, nearly £130 worth of ink pads today for $59.99 and on 2 split payments as well. You only pay, if you want to, $29.99 today, plus your 1 P&P of $3.95. Free phone number or the website, hobbymaker.co.uk. Either way, these are just too good to miss out on. And also, if you get your blending pads, remember a lot of the team at Hunky Dory, the blending pads that you can get, the circular ones with the touch fastening on the back, they actually stick them on the bottom of the ink pad. So you've always got your dedicated pad for the ink itself, so you don't kind of cross-contaminate your colours and get them in a mixed model or anything like that. Really cool. AOHD15. They're easy to store as well. The bigger ink pads can be sometimes a bit of a problem to find somewhere to put them. These are really compact, but they will last you such a long time. They're fully loaded with that dye-based ink. They've got great names as well. But look at those colourways. Think about what you colour in more often than not. If you're doing skin tones and things like that, you've got your blush there for that. If you're doing fur on animals, you've got various shades of brown. The greige, I love the greige one down there. It's like a mixture of grey and beige together. Mustard, dove grey, spearmint, powder blue. So you get literally about 3 or 4 colours in most of the families. You've actually got in the blues 2, 4, 6. You've got about 7 different blues there. A couple of yellows, a few oranges, loads of greens for your foliage and that sort of thing. $59.99. Or split pays there. That split pay is something we offer you as a business. So we just ask for $29.99 on a debit or a credit card today, plus your cap P&P, unless you've paid it already, and then $29.99 automatically comes off the same card in 4 weeks' time. You don't have to remember to pay it. It will come off your card in 4 weeks' time. AOHD 15 is the item number. Now, we notice that every morning in our Wake Up to Hobbymaker, we get spurts of people tuning in. What I mean by that is the alarms go off at 6, 6:15, 6:30, 6:45. So we get lots of kind of peaks during the show where people wake up, watch for a little bit. And I just want to let you know again about that anagram, okay? If you want to win yourself a £25 account credit, all you have to do is tell us what words these letters spell. And it's a well-known crafting product that we talk about probably every day here at Hobbymaker. So if you can unjumble those words, unjumble them, and make a well-known crafting product that you hear us talk about and see every single day probably, if you get it right and you're the lucky person drawn at random just before 7 o'clock this morning, in half an hour's time, you could win yourself a £25 credit. Loads of you have got it right. So if you want to get in touch, just send it studio@hobbymaker.co.uk. Tell us what those 2 words are. You could be £25 richer on your account by the end of the show. Yeah, actually, if you win your £25 credit, that's your next payment on those inks paid for virtually, isn't it? Yeah, well, 25, so another £5, you've got it sorted. Okay, now, moving on to the scoreboard. Adorable, scoreable scoreboard. So we've already talked about, let me just move this into the middle. We've already talked about making our envelopes. Well, this is an award-winning scoreboard from Hunky Dory. The thing I love about it most is one side is for your box lid, the other side is for your box base. But it's not just boxes. Use this to make your envelopes, of course, as well. And it also comes with the crafting handbook, so you can get the most out of your adorable, scoreable scoreboard. The crafting handbook. So it's a bit like the one for the inks. That obviously concentrates on the inks. This handbook just basically concentrates on everything that you can do, and there's so much you can do with the adorable scoreboard, okay? Now this is an award winner. This has won multiple awards in the Craft Awards for many, many, many years, because people, when they have it, just love everything that it can do for you. And you don't have to worry about making the top of a box, for example, slightly bigger than the bottom so it fits, because that's box base is that side, box lid is that side. So all that slight difference of sizing for the box lid and box base is taken into account. You don't have to do it. You just basically use the board as is. Now it is a double-sided board, so you've got inches on one side, which is the side I'm showing you there. And if you're more of a metric person, you've got your centimetres on this side as well. I do know some people that actually highlight the raised numbers. With like a Sharpie or a permanent pen or something like that, so they really stand out. And some people also put a line through the middle of their scoreboard, just so you've got that centre point of reference. That's something you can do if you want to. But this is really well made. I know lots of people hang these up with like cup hooks in their craft room. You've got the score tool too, which just lives in the top here. So you'll never lose, well, hopefully you'll never lose that. That just kind of clips in there like that, got its permanent home. But then, look at what you can do when you've got a scoreboard. You can make all of your designer cards. You can do your stepper cards, your easel cards, all those sort of things. Whenever you want, I mean, if you invest in adorable, scoreable cardstock, why not invest in the award-winning scoreboard to kind of go with it? It makes absolute sense, doesn't it? Now, you can make not just envelopes and cards, but you can also make boxes. You can make things like these windmill cards as well. Gift boxes, exploding boxes, boxes maybe for designer oils, maybe kitchen cooking oils or perfumes, anything. You can make little building blocks for the kids and put little cute characters on them. So all of this is achievable when you own a scoreboard. And bearing in mind we've got the envelope collection in the show today, this book is going to be the perfect companion with that. It really is. So envelope scoring, card scoring, box making, Whatever you want to do with it, this is not your price. This is what it should be, $39.98. And all of the handbooks are normally $9.99. That's what you pay if you pick them up off the shelf. We're going to do the scoreboard and the book for £29.98. I mean, look at that box there. That could have chocolates in it. It could have homemade cookies in it. It could have brownies in it. Yeah, how would you make that? Where would you start? I wouldn't have a clue. But it gives you all the dimensions, the size of the cardstock you're going to need as well. And bearing in mind, Bendy Ink technology, the adorable scoreable card, is just crying out to be scored, then this is the perfect companion to have this book and the award-winning scoreboard as well. And the thing is, the scoreboard, once you've got it, you've got it. You've got it for life. It's going to last you your crafting lifetime without a shadow of a doubt, because there's nothing to wear out on it. There's nothing to, need replacement. It's a strong, award-winning, adorable scoreboard. £29.98. That's your inch side. That's your centimetre side. And that book is included as well. So if you take the £9.99 off for the book, you're paying 20 quid for the scoreboard. What was the cost of the last box you bought? Or maybe you can't remember that long ago. Maybe you've been making boxes for years and years and years. But if you go into a gift shop or a card shop and you buy a pre-made gift box, you can pay £5, £6 just for a small box. 4 of those, you've paid for this board. And you can make and sell as well, obviously. So if you'd rather make envelopes and make boxes, not just the cards that go in them, then this could be a little gold mine. Really could be. ZOHD92. ZOHT92, that's the product code, and it's under £30 if you order it today from us. Right, where do you want to go next? Oh, silicone mat. Okay. Now, this is, again, something that every craft room needs. And a bit like the scoreboard, once you've got it, you've got it. You don't need to replace it or change it very often at all, if ever. Now, this was huge yesterday. So many people added this in. Maybe you've got the main Christmas gift sorted, but you do, like we do in our family, we have like Christmas Eve presents, and we have like Boxing Day gifts and under the tree presents, little silly, not silly things, but little inexpensive things, just kind of just before and just after the main event on Christmas. If you're looking for something like that, or you're looking for a Secret Santa, or maybe it's a bit late for that now, I'm not quite sure. But the Hunky Dory silicone mat is brilliant. It's going to protect your work surface. You see all the Hunky Dory guests using this religiously. If they're not using the scoreboard, they're using this for their crafting. And this is going to be heat protective. So if you are using a heat gun or anything like that, you don't have to worry about using it on here. It'll help to protect your tabletop underneath it. But it's also a great surface to stamp on as well. It's got that little bit of give in it. I mean, it's not a foam mat, don't get me wrong, it's not that at all. But also if you're using it to put your paints on or blend your mica powders, anything like that, it's a white, clean surface. You don't want to get your desk dirty, you want to keep it nice and pristine, but also you don't want to end up kind of getting muck on your card or on your project that you're working on. So just keep it nice and clean with a wet tissue or something like that. It all wipes clean. Now, it comes in a little box rolled up. When it's open, it's 18 inches by 12, so 18 wide, 12 inches deep. But when you are using, maybe you do your crafting on the dining room table, you don't always want the silicone mat out there, or maybe on the kitchen table or whatever. Just literally roll it up. It's virtually indestructible. It rolls up to virtually nothing. You can put it in your craft tote very, very simply. Keep it in the plastic box it comes in, or just kind of keep it just tucked into your drawer or wherever. But for the price of $9.99, it's one of those crafting absolute must-haves. Maybe you've been asked for a few crafting essentials this year. Maybe someone in your family this year has decided that they want to start the hobby. And you're thinking, okay, what do we need? We need glue, we need scissors, we need a craft knife, we need certainly a silicone mat, you need a heat gun. All those are essential tools that when you've got them, you've got them. This is a great gift for anyone like that. $9.99, or maybe someone's got a craft mat and it's been really, really kind of used to death and it's seen better years. Add one into your order today. Fly the Hunky Dory flag as well, because it's branded Hunky Dory in the Hunky Dory colours, and I know so many of you absolutely adore that brand. So that is YDHD57, yours for less than £10. Maybe you came in earlier on and you bought the envelope making kit that we got today from Hunky Dory. We'll come back to that in just a second, but if you've already paid your $3.95 postage, that's a delivered price. Anything else you order on our website today will be a delivered price because you've paid your $3.95, and that's all we ask for one P&P per day between midnight and midnight. So there's your silicone mat. It's heat protective, it protects your work surface, you can blend on it, you can use all of your fantastic ink products on there as well, you can add and spritz water on there, pick it up with a brush, so use it like a palette if you want to as well. £9.99. Now, I did mention that we're going to come back to the envelope making. Should we do that now? Okay, let's show you. Now, this really created a stir at the start of the show at 6 o'clock. We're nearly into single figure stock of availability on this. We don't have much of this at all. Now, what is it? It is just a really lovely thing that they've put together. It's all about making your own envelopes. Now, if you're going to go for the scoreboard, you're sorted. If you've got a scoreboard already, this is all you need. You get 48 sheets, I think it is. Yeah, 48 sheets of 12 by 12. Now, that will allow you to make up to a 7.5-inch square envelope. If you've got bigger cardstock, of course, you can make bigger envelopes. But the booklet that comes with it gives you all the hints and tips as to how to make lots and lots of different styles of envelopes. Now, it works out, if you take into account, if you divide the price just by the 48 sheets, it's 48p a sheet. But you get your punch. So you can now have decorative corners on your envelopes and on anything. Use them on your cards as well. And you can also enjoy this book, because the book gives you lots of ideas. Now, you might think an envelope's an envelope. Well, no, envelopes can be all sorts of different shapes and sizes. You can have some that are more like wallets. Now, obviously, there's the adorable scoreboard on the inside. So these are the things that Hunky Dory recommend that you use. You're going to get your punch anyway, so that's included. You haven't got glue included, but that's what you need. Your Hunky Dory glue. Scoreboard is ideal, or if you don't want to use glue, you can actually use the red liner tape. So they just show you the sort of things you're going to need to make your own envelopes. What I love is, though, you can make your own wedding gifts and stationery as well, where you send out invites and RSVPs. That's going to save you a fortune. You can make small, you can make large, you can make DL size. You can also, of course, put the actual papers, once you've cut them, and use them as liners. You can actually decorate the inside of your letter, of your envelope as well, if you want to. Or you can use the 12 by 12 cards for the actual body of the envelope if you choose. But everything in here is taken care of. How to decorate maybe the lip on the top of your envelope. Hints and tips on how to do that included too. Maybe you don't like the gum that you sometimes put on envelopes, but you don't have to use the gum. You can use tape, you can use glue, all sorts of tips in here. You can even make envelopes out of vellum and parchment. How good would that be? But I love this idea, because this is taking the envelope to another level. It folds up to almost like a neat little purse. But then when you open it, it concertinas, and you've got various words and verses, invitations and pictures. It could be like a mini little photo album to send someone, maybe as a New Year gift or something like that. If you've got new additions to the family, new pets, new children, anything like that you just want to tell the family about in different parts of the world. And I love this. Don't stick the envelope together at all. Just actually fasten it together, a little button or a bit of ribbon, wrap it around the button. That's another way of using it. And I think this is superb. This is basically this one here in a different colour. So it's got the liner, the 12 by 12 has been used as the liner. Other cardstock's been made to make the envelope. But that could be an invitation, save the date, 21st birthday party invitation. But this is it. So you've got the instructions, you've got the book, you've got all the know-how, and this has actually been lined with that paper that you're getting 48 sheets of today. But you've made it into like a little wallet. So that folds over, closes the envelope, and then you've got that little flap over there as well. So you could put a decorative bead or brad on that. You could use Velcro to fasten it, or a little magnet. If you've got any magnets, that would work. But you've made it into like a gift wallet. And you can sell those. You could sell those for £3.50, £3, £2.99, whatever you wanted to. And it's cost you literally the cost of one sheet of adorable scorable and one sheet of paper, because that's what's been used here. So it's not just paper envelopes. You can make adorable scorable envelopes. I'm looking at this one. This is an envelope that's actually more like a box, because it's got a width to it. So anything that's got dimension, anything, maybe it's a dome card, maybe it's a decoupage piece, anything like that, maybe you're doing your decollage and you want to have an envelope that's got a lot more depth to it. Or it could be, I don't know if we do DVDs or CDs anymore. People don't seem to do that very much anymore. But like that sort of size case could fit into an envelope like that, couldn't it? And that's been done using the adorable scoreboard and adorable scorable and the booklet as well. So 48 sheets. Let me show you that punch as well that you're going to get. I'll do the other side of the... This is really cool, actually. And it's, again, little touches like this that make something look really classy and doesn't make it, look handmade or homemade. There we go. So just punch that corner. That's giving you that inverted arch, which is really, really lovely. And then the other way, if I turn it around this way, it's the opposite. So this is your curved corner. There you go. And yeah, you get two different effects. The inverted dome and then the curved corner. Both of those are there. Now you get the lot for $19.99. The book that gives you ideas and dimensions, what size of paper you need to will make what size of envelope. If you want a 6x6 envelope, you need a paper size of 10x10. If you want an 8x8 envelope, you need 12.5 by 12.5. 7x7, you need 11x11. So it gives you all of the differences there. 4x4, 5x5, you can make all sorts of different sizes, and it's there in that booklet for you with the 48 12 by 12 sheets and the punch as well. It's a really clever little kit. Hello Alison in Leicestershire, SA in Leicestershire as well. Already checked out Lorna, Beverly, Alison, Penny, Pamela. You're up bright and early, bagging these bargains, and we will get this to you ASAP, okay? AQHD06. Okay, we've got about 10 minutes left where you can get your entries into our anagram. Let's give you it one more time because we want to give as many of you the chance of winning a £25 credit as possible. We do this about 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday and Friday on Wake Up with Hobby Maker. There are 2 words, jumbled up letters, and it makes a well-known product that we show you here and talk about every day from us at Hobby Maker. So what could those 2 letters be? All the letters that are in the first word are in there. We've not jumbled up the 2 words for you, so that hopefully makes it a bit easier. What could that word be, or those words be? If you think you know, email your answer and your name to studio@hobbymaker.co.uk. Okay, studio@hobbymaker.co.uk. One person will win a £25 credit on their account before 7. It'll be on your account either today or tomorrow, but you can hear if you're the winner before 7. Now these stamps. Okay, now this bundle. I mean, you can buy them on their own. If you just love the lily, just love the rose, just love the gerber or whatever, you can buy them for £10 each. I wouldn't do that myself because for £24.99, you're going to get all 4 of them. That is amazing value. It's about £6.25 per stamp set. And these are brilliant. Already bought them today. Christine, hello Christine. Marion in Kent, Irene in Surrey, Joanne in Essex, Crafter in West Midlands. Loads of you going for this offer today because I just think they're brilliant. Whoever came up with the concept of them is just so clever. I wish it was me, but it wasn't. Now, if I show you some of these cards, I've got a whole load of pre-made cards here, which you're going to hopefully love. You're going to get your rose, you're going to get your gerbera, you're going to get your peony, and you're going to get your lily as well. Now, I remember the first time I saw layering stamps, I looked at them and I thought, what on earth is that? Because there was this big black blob, and I thought, oh, how do you use that then? And then there were 2 other roses, slightly different to each other. And I thought, well, I can see they're flowers, but I don't quite understand how you use them. Well, the idea is, and on the back of each of these, if you're giving these as presents, it shows you exactly how to do it and why they are made the way they are. So you've got the main black stamp is the background. Then you've got one that's slightly more detailed, and that's the second one. So that gives you the second layer. So obviously use different coloured inks. You can go psychedelic and use different colours. We can use different tones in the same colourway. That makes them look more real. And then you've got the third stamp of the flower that gives you the final element of detail. And then down on the foliage, you start with the first layer. You've then got the second layer, which is the detail for the leaves, and then the crown and glory is that extra detail that you've got there too. So again, in 3 different colour greens, 3 different colour reds, the whole thing looks, it's like you can reach out and hold it and give it, isn't it? It looks so real. Now we're down now to single figure stock on this offer where you get all 4 of them. So the next, 9 of you through will be lucky. Let's show you some finished cards because I think these are gorgeous. And when people realise you've done it yourself, have you done that? Have you made that flower look so 3D? Kim's done this one. There you've got your lilies. Yeah, Ellie, my producer, said it looks like fireworks going off. It does a bit like that. Yeah, I can see what you mean. And then the same lily, but in different colourways. You can have so much fun with this. Always clean your stamp in between, because the idea is obviously that you put the first layer down, then you put the stamp over the top of the first layer, line it up, and then stamp with it. So clean off your stamps in between. There's your gerbera. I mean, that is so bright and cheerful, isn't it? You can't be down in the dumps when you're looking at flowers like that. And these are more pop arty in different colourways. I say that. You can, they've actually been true to the colourway. You've got the different shades of blue, but the splash of yellow in the middle. But you can do them in bright pinks, bright oranges, bright yellows. Go funky if you want. That one's your peony. I think one of my favourites as well is from a reality point of view is the rose. That looks so realistic. And you can see how good the foliage looks as well with different shades of green, even a yellow. We could use even an orange if you want it to be kind of autumnal. Here's another one of the gerberas. Isn't that gorgeous? So experiment on maybe copy a paper before you start using it on your quality cardstock. What colours are you looking for? Do you want to go funky and way out, pop arty? Do you want to go really classy and classic? Is it a happy card? Is it a sad card you're wanting to send? These are going to be suitable for both. They really are. I mean, look at this one. And once you start it, you'll get the bug. It is quite addictive because it really does make the whole thing come to life. You see a technique sometimes, you just kind of think, that's really special, that's really something. And you know, these are going to be appropriate all year round. So you're not buying a stamp that you'll use once and then won't use it for another year. You know, who asks you for roses? Who asks you for peonies or gerberas or upbeat cards? Who asks you for lilies? Lilies are so popular with so many people. Well, you've got that here as well. I mean, that you could do it in monochrome, different shades of grey or different shades of sepia, or like if you go for those inks, you could do it in a greige, a velvet fawn, and a gingerbread. That would work. So, you know, just play around with them, have fun. And those inks, by the way, they're perfect to use with these. I mean, if I show you the board, look at these inks, because if you think about it, you could do the rose in, that could be the first layer, the blush. Pink petals could be the second layer, and then your hot pink or your lipstick could be the third layer. So, you know, you've got different colourways and different colour families. If you wanted to do it in orange and yellow, you've got all these down here. They would all work with the layering stamps too. You could do them in the blues, you could do them in the greens for your foliage. Play around with these. Letterbox red, yeah, that's in there too. Now, these ink pads are brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You see lots of the Hunky Dory demonstrators use them on a regular daily basis, to be honest with you. Most of the demonstrators have got them loaded on their carts and on their trolleys when they come into the studio. And they never want to be without them. And from a portability point of view, I don't know of any other ink pads that are more portable than this, because they're a good size and they're going to last you a long, long time. They're incredibly juicy, but they're easy to store. They're easy to put into your tote bag and that sort of thing as well. Maybe you've got the Hunky Dory storage caddy, for example. They're perfect to fit in there. I'm not sure if we've got stock of that at the moment or not, but if you have a look on our website, you'll see that the storage caddies hopefully are there, and they fit in there beautifully, and you can keep them in your colour families, have one case for maybe a set of 6 of the pinks and a set of 6 of the greens or whatever. So yeah, lots of ways of storing them and carrying them around. But you're not only going to get 40 of these ink pads, you're also going to get a $9.99 handbook as well, which is an absolute godsend, because you know, we all know how to use an ink pad. You get a stamp, you put the stamp, or put the ink on the stamp, you stamp with it, yeah. And that's when I first started doing craft shows years and years and years ago. That's all I thought ink pads were used for. But now I know so many other techniques you can use with it as well. So this is a dye-based ink running through it, all new colours, only released in the last, month, 5 weeks, something like that from Hunky Dory. But if you are in a bit of a rut, or you've lost your mojo, as we sometimes do, you lose your direction, you think, oh, I don't know what to do today, I know I want to make a cup, but I don't know what to do with it, haven't got any ideas. These handcraft books are just brilliant for lots of inspiration. Like here, for example, how you can use your water brushes, how you can ink onto your craft mat, onto your glass mat, or straight onto a project, and you can, of course, move the ink around using your water brushes, lots of different techniques with that, how to do that wonderful background, how to then cut your butterflies out of that ink background. So, yeah, so many different techniques. I mean, how to do that background with a howling wolf? Where would you start? It tells you and shows you every step of the way in here. Stencils, yeah, we forget about stencils sometimes. We've got some lovely stencils coming up actually from Creative Expressions with Gwen in the next show. Looking forward to that immensely. There we go, look. So yeah, a step-by-step handbook of all the different ways of using these Prism ink pads. Now, one other thing that I've not shown you yet, which if you haven't got one, treat yourself, or get someone to treat you to it, because it is one of the best inventions ever as far as I'm concerned. Now, the stamping platform from Hunky Dory is brilliant in that it doesn't have a hinge. Now, that's not a, you know, I'm not saying that stamp platforms that have hinges aren't good, they are, but this allows you to go 100% vertically. You haven't got a hinge that is making it go in at a certain angle. Now, if I take it out of the packaging, I just want to show you. We're bringing that price down. Let me just take this out of the packaging and show you. So it's a lovely good size. It's got a magnetized base. You've got 2 magnets included as well that have got easy grip little sections on them, because sometimes magnets aren't the easiest things to pick up, so they think about that. So you've got those. Magnetized base, as I say, and then you've got your magnetized lid. So this basically goes straight on to your platform. No hinge there at all to get in the way or to make your head go down. So if you think about it, if something on a hinge, it's not going straight down perfectly flat, it's going down at an angle, which sometimes doesn't give you the best stamping result. So your stamp goes on there and basically it's down, straight down. So you get a perfectly stamped image every single time. And you know with Hunky Dory it's going to be manufactured really, really well. Now we've taken that price down to less than £25. It's £24.99. Magnets are included, the lid comes off, you've got measurements in centimetres, millimetres and inches on the side there as well. Now if your magnets stick together, which they have a tendency to do, because you've got these little flaps on the edge there, you can really easily separate them and separate them apart. But really well made. You've got the grid system, so it helps you line up your stamp perfectly so it's in the right place. And those magnets are strong on the side there. That's not going to come off when you don't want it to. But it means straight down, perfect results every single time. If you miss a bit, it's easy just to remove it, re-ink your stamp and go back in. Nothing will have moved. And size-wise, you're looking, this one is about, this is about a 7 by 9 inches, the platform, 7 by 9. So again, a really good size to have just by your side on your table or in your drawer, or it can go in your tote bag as well. £24.99, and it's RSHD86. RSHD86. That is the perfect way to improve your stamping. It helps you. I know so many people that actually left stamping years ago and have now come back to it because I find that the stamping platform is like the game changer. You know, if you suffer with manual dexterity and you struggle with blocks and that sort of thing, this just makes it so easy. All you need to do is just apply pressure with your whole hand. You don't have to use just your fingers if you don't want to. Again, call us for that if you want to. It's 0800 001 4433. The call centre's there. It's manned 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Even on Christmas, you'll be happy to know that people are going to be there. We're going to be here on Christmas Day as well. So if maybe you want some company at Christmas, we will be here live. Ruth is doing the show between 12 and 4 on Christmas Day. So make sure you join her for the afternoon. You can interact with us and message in. It's going to be a lot of fun and some amazing deals as well, which will put a smile on your face on Christmas Day. So that's something to look forward to. Now, we've also got the water brushes. Now, I've buried them. Here they are. They're underneath all my cards. Let me show you these. Now, if you are going for the inks, and I mentioned the water brushes, how you can use those with the ink from the ink pads. These are great because all you do is literally unscrew them and fill them up from the tap. That's all you've got to do. Just literally tap water in there. Maybe if you're an artist and you like to go out painting, or you just have got a habit, as I had when I used to paint, of knocking the jam jar over full of water, then this is the easy way of getting water where you want it. And also, of course, it's there on demand. You basically squeeze the side of the pen where it says push, and that then creates the pressure and it sends the water through the brush. So if you are using your Prism ink pads, just put a little bit down on your watercolour card or on your glass mat or whatever, and then you can also mix it with the water from your water brush. So a set of 3 of these, £3.33 each, £9.99, and you get 3. So yeah, always handy to have in your craft bag, always handy to have if you're going out maybe doing some watercolouring. Probably not in this weather, you'd probably be staying in doing watercolouring. But NTHD96, a nice little kind of extra gift maybe if you're looking for, you know, if you've done the main gift giving or gift buying and you're thinking, I just need a few more bits and I want bits that I know is going to go down well. Well, these will go down fantastically well. They're really well. NTHD96. Now, the winner is coming up soon of our £25 credit. Thank you if you've taken part in our anagram competition today. Lots of you have. Lots of you are up early. I just want to show you the envelope making set because that's been one of our most popular items. And you get your book. I was really pleased to see this morning because there aren't many companies that actually focus on envelopes or give much thought to envelopes, really. It's always about the card making. But, you know, envelopes are just as important, especially if they look decorative and they're beautiful and you've made them yourself. You can save money by making them yourself, but you can also make them the size that you need. That's the lovely thing. So whether you're wanting an envelope for a gift card, whether you're wanting an envelope that's got depth so you can put decoupage in it, making your own RSVPs and things like that, this could save you hundreds of pounds if you're doing your own wedding stationery or civil partnership invites or whatever it might be. You're going to get 48 sheets. Now this is supposed to be on this afternoon, but if they haven't got any stock, it won't be. And I think this is all the stock we've got at the moment anyway, unless they can magic some up from somewhere else for later on. But you're going to get 48 patent 12 by 12 papers, which are gorgeous, really stunning quality, all different patterns. Now they can be the liner of your envelope if you want them to be, or they can be the actual envelope. I mean, I've got some here that have been made from the envelope, like this one. Isn't that lovely? And that's a 7 by 7 card, I think. But then if you've got Adorable Scoreable or any cardstock, you can make the envelope out of card, not just paper. So use the scoreboard, the Adorable Scoreboard that's in the show. Use that to score your Adorable Scoreable, and then you've made really almost like an envelope box, to be fair. And that would be great for anything that's quite delicate or whatever going in there. Smaller ones for like gift cards that you can buy from the supermarkets. How diddy and cute is that? You could be sending someone maybe a Sanntangle card, and you want to make the envelope the right size for that. This is the newsprint paper that's actually in your 12 by 12 selection as well. I love things like that. Try to read it, never can. Never can. One of the other patterns in a totally different size. I think it's a 5 by 7 maybe. 6 by 6. Cool, aren't they? Yeah, make your own envelopes. If you want to use glue, if you want to use red liner tape, we've got literally single figure stock now. Carol's in Cornwall. Hello, Carol, morning to you. Alison in Leicestershire. SA in Leicestershire, you've all got to check out if you want to get hold of this. And as I say, you will get the corner punch as well. So both the kind of inverted curved corner and the out curved corner, both on that punch there. And it just kind of, again, finishes off and makes something look so professional. You can use it on your cards as well as your envelopes too, but it's there. So you get that, you get your envelope book, and you get your 48 sheets of 12 by 12 decorative papers, all for just £19.99 and our 1 P&P charge. I know it's nearly 7 o'clock. Lots of you wake up between 6:30 and 7, so you watch us with a cup of tea in your hand. We're moving on to Creative Expressions with lovely Gwen in just a second. We won't be referring this again, so this sells out in the next show, and you try and buy it in the next show, and it says, sorry, it's gone. All I can do is apologise. Now, that anagram, we asked the question, 2 words, mixed up letters, making a well-known product that we sell so much of here at Hobbymaker. What is that? Leradoab Srebglakoya. What is it? What could it be? Adorable Scoreable. Hey, congratulations one and all. Thank you if you entered. Lots of you did. We have a winner who's going to get themselves £25 credit on their Hobbymaker account. And the winner is Joe from Hampshire. Morning, Joe, congratulations. You got it within a minute or 2 of us showing it to you. So there we go, pays to get up early. Thank you, Joe. That will be on your account either today or tomorrow, but it will be there. You've won, so congratulations. Oh, it's been added, has it, already? Oh, it's there, it's on your account now. That was quick, blimey. All right, we'll take a short break then on this Wednesday morning, and we're here with the lovely Gwen. Lots of demos to come and lots of gorgeous products from Creative Expressions shortly. You know, we're really pleased we're getting more and more brand new suppliers here at Hobbymaker. Well, wait until you hear the latest. Cricut is joining us at Hobbymaker. And we've got exclusive deals just for us at Hobbymaker featuring the Joy and the Maker 3. And if the stock sells out, which it probably will, you won't see it again until next year. So make sure you join us this Thursday for the exclusive, exciting launch of Cricut on Hobbymaker.
Here at Hobbymaker, we love seeing what you've been making, and it's our job to keep you inspired. So how does a £100 credit to your Hobbymaker account sound? Every month, we're going to be giving away a £100 credit to one lucky Hobbymaker's account. And all you have to do to enter is simply send a photo of your craft you makes to studio@hobbymaker.co.uk. We will be picking one winner each month at random, and we'll announce the lucky winner on air in the 5 PM show on the last Saturday of every month. So what are you waiting for? Get crafting, get motivated, and get inspired with Hobbymaker.
Our call centre is based in the UK and available 24/7. Just call 0800 001 4433 or email help@hobbymaker.co.uk. If you've recently missed your favourite show on Hobbymaker, it's really easy to catch up on our website. Simply visit hobbymaker.co.uk and click TV Guide. Here you'll be able to choose any show broadcast in the last 7 days, which you can watch, pause and rewind at your convenience. And to make shopping even easier, any items featured in the show will appear underneath. With Hobbymaker's Catch Up, there's never a reason to miss out, no matter what time of day. Are you having trouble finding the perfect gift? Then why not treat them to the new gift card from Hobbymaker at hobbymaker.co.uk. Simply scroll down to the bottom where it says gift cards, click and you'll be taken to the right place. Decide between posting the card or delivery by email and then decide how much you want to add. You choose the value. So what do you get the crafter that's got everything? Why not treat yourself or them to the Hobbymaker gift card? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday. If your alarm's just gone off at 7, welcome to the Hobbymaker Highlight. There we are. Every single weekday at 7 o'clock, we bring you a very special offer at a very special price for a limited time only, either until midnight or until the stock sells out, whichever happens first. And so, of course, lovely Gwen is here today. Welcome.
Good morning, Dave.
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. All right in the cold, brave in the cold?
It wasn't too bad this morning.
It was all right.
It's been a lot worse at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, Gwen's here to do great demonstrations as she always does, and we're featuring the design of Helen Colebrook actually today. Now, Helen's a new one on me. I haven't seen Helen's
Yes,
work.
well, Helen's a new designer who's come along to Creative Expressions and designed this collection in conjunction with us. And she's a lovely, lovely lady. She's a journaler. She has a huge following on YouTube and Instagram and Patreon. She's got like 17,000 followers. It's immense, yeah. And she has a lovely style. She takes all her inspiration from nature. She likes to get out in the outdoors and she likes to watercolour and sketch, and she transfers that into her journals. And she's very inspirational and very mindful. And so if you want to hop over to her YouTube, it's Journal with Purpose. And you can see her style and what she gets up to. And she likes to do travel journals and art journals and bullet journals and planners. So she covers everything really. And she's really inspired me, so much so that I've now started a journal. And I'm one of those who sat there going, I don't do journaling.
Right, now you do.
Never have. But she's really inspired me. So I'm really excited to bring this collection. I know she is too. I don't think she'll be watching at this time in the morning, but...
Well, Gwen, it kind of crosses over because you can make lovely cards with all of this,
Absolutely.
as well as journals and planners and even diaries, because you've actually got the days of the week and the months of the year in this selection as well. So it's a mixture of lots of dies, lots of stencils, and some stamps as well. Now, the bundle we've got for you is everything, okay? Now, everything is available individually, so we always, wherever possible, let you have individuals. So if you've just got a smaller budget or don't want to spend quite as much or whatever, you can hand-pick what you actually want to work with. But the bundle itself is an amazingly reduced price. VJ2885 is the product code, VJ2885. Here's the discounted price. It should be, what, 130? Oh, 117, so nearly £120. You're getting it today for £94.99, and we've got even better news on 3 split payments. £31.66 is all you need to pay today if you want to have this wonderful collection from Helen and Creative Expressions. And the next payment is due in 4 weeks' time and comes off your card then. And the third and final payment comes off your card in 2 months' time. So let's run through what we've got here then, because there's lots for your money, absolutely loads. Shall I just, have I got all the pick and flicks here? I think I've got some of them. I've got all of them, I think.
Yeah, they're all there.
Yeah, I've got all of them. Okay, let me show you. First of all, you've got a lovely selection of dies. So this one, as you can probably see, is this beautiful garland and wreath. So imagine what you can do with that. Just crying out to be kind of accessorised, isn't it, really? So that's those two. Now you can get the 3 die sets in a bundle as well, if that's all you want, but that's on the website. So those are your leaves and foliage, as you can see there. Lovely size of dies as well. The next set have got your flowers, and you've actually got the outside cutting edge to these as well, haven't you? So you can stamp in them and do all sorts with them. So that's the bundle of 3. If you just want those, they're on the screen for you now, $39.99. So that's just if you want those. And that is your price, just under 40 quid, EY2859. But then to go with that, you've then got these beautiful stencils. And I always think stencils are underrated, Gwen, really.
Do you?
You can do so much with
I
them.
love stencils. I'm actually a certified tutor for stenciling.
Oh, are you?
So I know loads of techniques, and so I use my stencils an awful lot. I think they're absolutely brilliant. They're so versatile.
Absolutely. You can do
You can
so
use
much
them with inks, with paints, with sprays. You can put them through and use like letterpress. You can do actual raised embossing with a stencil. They're fab. Yeah, love them.
Loads. Okay, so they're $16.99 if you just want the stencils on their own, and that's actually 4 stencil sets. Great for your backgrounds. You don't have to use the whole thing, just use certain elements off them if you want to as well. But those are the patterns you're going to get. There we are. You can see them very easily there on the screen. Then you've got your stamp set. So now this has got a really lovely font as well that Helen's designed here. You've got the days of the week, and you've also got the months of the year, and you've also got words like don't forget, review, to do, and goals. So if you want to make these into your, and add them into your planner, or even make a diary for 2023, you've got that opportunity there. So that's the stamps. And then stamps that match the dies, you've got those, of course, the flower stamps. And this bundle of just stamps on its own, you can have those as a set of 4, including the days of the week and the months of the year. Those stamps are £27.99 for all 4, DE2805. But of course, add it all together, the best value by far is to go for the big bundle, and you'll be one of the first people to get this collection. Is this Helen's first collection?
Yes, it's brand new.
Brand new.
First foray into this type of product. She said it was a real learning curve because she's not used to designing this sort of product, of course.
Right.
So she's absolutely loved the designing process in conjunction with Creative Expressions, who she said have been super helpful. Well, they would be because that's their thing. And I think it's a fantastic collaboration. I absolutely have enjoyed playing with these.
Well, we'll get demoing in just a second. I just want to show you some of the finished cards. It's always nice to give you the inspiration and show you the sort of thing that you can do. We were talking about envelope making a few minutes ago. You've got an envelope on the front of this card, but again, the stencil's been used to great effect with fantastic ink effects there in the background and then the flowers in the foreground. Look at this one. That's really stylish, that.
That's gorgeous stencil. It's so beautiful, and it makes life really easy because I've just inked through that one. Done a little bit of shading.
Sometimes you can tell when something's stenciled. You can't with that. It doesn't look like a stencil to me.
Do you think it's hand painted?
Yeah.
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 I think that's Helen's style.
Right.
She does love watercolouring. So I think that's translated really well across these
really has.
products.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's bringing in our gorgeous Cosmic Shimmer watercolour palette, of course, so you've got that fantastic shimmer on there.
And we've got that on the show as well. All the products that Gwen's going to be using in the demos are on the show, because actually you put the shows together for us, don't you?
Yes, yes. So I've had real fun putting these together. It was quite hard, actually, because there were so many things. I thought, what could use this, what could use that? I had to pare it down, and I've still ended up with loads.
Absolutely beautiful. And why not, not just decorate your cards, think about decorating your envelopes as well.
Well, as you were saying earlier, I love making envelopes. I do it all the time. I make books with envelopes, and I love to have decorative paper to do that. So Helen's paper pad, I was like, oh, I can make envelopes here.
Oh, I forgot to mention that.
Yes, so that's a fabulous addition as well. And
Yes.
some of the designs coordinate with the stamps, the stencils, and the washi tapes as well, because we've got washi tape for you as well. So it's a massive collection. It's everything you need in there.
Now, the pad is available as a separate purchase, okay? If it's just the pad you want today, that's absolutely fine. You can add it into your order in conjunction with the main bundle, or if you just want this on its own. You've actually got 6 designs, 6 sheets of each, so you're looking at 36 single-sided pages, and they're 8 by 8 in size, acid and lignin free as well. So perfect for your scrapbooks, your journals. Obviously that is what Helen does. That's her thing. But having said that, all that we've got in the main collection kind of crosses over to card making brilliantly as well. Or maybe she's going to inspire, like she's inspired Gwen, maybe she's going to inspire you to start doing a journal. I've always said this for the last few years as I've got older. I really regret not doing and not having diaries and journals.
Me too. It's not something I've ever done.
No.
And I've got some of my grandma's, and they're so fascinating to look back on and so lovely to have. But even just remembering things, and like we've been on trips, and I always take a little notebook and jot down where we've been and which stately home we visited or whatever it was, because I wouldn't remember otherwise.
No.
And I might remember going to the stately home, but I might not remember where it was.
I'm useless with years. What year did we do this?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, rubbish.
So I regret not doing it sooner.
Now,
But
one
it's
thing
never
that
too late.
One thing that we've got in the show that we don't often have, and I just wanted to show it to you before we start to demo any second now, are these fantastic travel journals that we've got. These are really beautifully presented. And they're $9.99. Now, it could be that you want to start kind of chronicling where you go, what you do, where you've been, that sort of thing. Now, this is the plain paged version. Quality of the paper is
You
astounding.
can feel it,
beautiful.
can't you?
It's lovely.
Yeah.
Really,
it's,
really lovely.
it's 130 GSM cartridge paper, so it'll take wet stuff quite happily. Alcohol markers are going to bleed through if you use those on it.
Yeah.
But if you're going to decorate the pages, you just cover up the back if it's stained through with
Yep.
some of the lovely papers and you know, hide that if you don't like it. That you get 128 pages, I think, in each
It
of
is,
these.
yeah.
They're A5 in size. They're from a company called C. White, who are educational suppliers. So their quality, they supply art colleges and things like that. Their quality has to be an A's top notch. So
Absolutely.
we're very fortunate to have had these from C. White. And one of them is a dot grid page.
Well, this-
so there's
this
two
one-
different ones.
Yeah, this one's the plain, and it's $9.99. And of course, you've got your elasticated marker there as well, which is always handy if you want to open the book at a certain page without trying to fumble.
Well,
to
you've got a
find it.
ribbon bookmark as well.
Oh, right.
So you've got the elastic closure and you've
Yep.
got a ribbon bookmark as well. So everything's there.
So that's the travel journal. Only $9.99. We have limited quantities of these, though. We haven't got anywhere near as many as we would have liked. If you want to get the one that's got the dot grid on it, now the benefit of the dot grid, I suppose, is helps you kind of get perspective and get things in the right place. And it's very discreet. You can't really see it unless you look
Well,
closely.
it's more to do bullet journaling. Lots of people like to do bullet journaling and planning, where you can dot your points, and you can also align things, as you say, if you're wanting to maybe line up pictures or things like that. The grid is deliberately pale because you don't want it to be intrusive.
No.
And some of them are quite strong, and you think, oh, it's going to get in the way of my writing or whatever. But this is a lovely, very pale, faded grey. So you can see it, but once you've written over it, you won't notice it.
Only $10.99. That's the one with the dots on. The other one, the travel journal, is completely plain. But whenever we've had anything like this, and we don't get things like this very often, they always go very fast. So $10.99 for the one with the dots on. If you want the plain one, that's $9.99 for the travel journal. But I thought I wanted to get in early with that, because we may not be able to get any more later on. Right, over to you for a demo. What do
Okay,
you want to show us?
I want to show you, try to show you how some of these products work, first of all, because I think that's quite important. So I'm going to start with one of the stamps. If you've never stamped before, and I'm sure there are people there who haven't, they are clear, they're a photopolymer, and they come with two plastic sheets. This one's a protective sheet, and this one's your indexing sheet with the pictures actually on. And you peel off the stamp from that sheet so you can see the design's printed on there so you know what's what. And then this is self-cling. You pop it onto an acrylic block. We have got these for you today as well. Mm-hmm. And then you choose an ink pad. I've got VersaFine Clair. It's one of my favourite inks to use. And you need to tap this onto your stamp, keeping it completely flat, and just lots and lots of tapping until you can see all the detail of the stamp pop out. And then you're going to turn that over and you're going to basically print it. That's what a stamp is. It's a printing tool. So put it firmly down, press all over, make sure you catch every area of the stamp with some pressure, and then let that ink transfer into the cardstock. Sometimes I know it's tempting because you want to see what's happened and what you've done, but you need to let the ink actually soak into the cardstock. Give it a few seconds. Don't whip it off too quickly. All right, and then you can see the detail on these stamps is really
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Yep.
There's a lot of fine lines on that, and they've all come out perfectly, so I'm really impressed with the quality. So I've got one here that's dry, because that ink does take a little time to dry. And then if I grab the Flower Garden die set, you'll see on here we've got some flowers with outlines and also with decorative inserts. Now, if I was to cut these two together, so you pop them together like this, put a piece of card on and pass it through your die cut machine, you'll get this flower, which is really lovely. Mm-hmm. And if I just use this on its own, and I'm just going to cut one now, so you can do a back plate or a layer, if you like, to your flower. So really clever, these, really thought through to give you so many different options. So this is cut the flower just as a solid.
Right.
And then when you pop your other flower on there, you can see that colour through. You can colour the die cut flower as well, of course. But that's one option. Or we can take our stamped image and pop the die, and it's really easy to line them up. You just find the points on each of the flowers and just look to make sure none of the outline is visible. And I've tried to use stamps and dies like this before, and I don't get on with them because, quite frankly, some of them are not very accurate. And these are fantastic. So just pop this through your die cut machine.
And there are lots of exciting Creative Expressions goodies on the show as well on the website. Paint palettes, we've got a special glue bundle, gel pens, all coming up.
So you can see now that we have the perfectly cut flower with no white overspill, no inaccuracies. And that's really important to me. I'm a bit of an accurate freak. I do like things to be just right. So I was really impressed with these. And then obviously once you've got your flower cut, you can then paint it and decorate it. So let's do that.
Okay.
So I'm going to use the, I have to remind myself there are so many. Summer Garden, this is set 4, and we've got this for you today. We've also got for you a set of 2 of our beautiful water brushes. These are a cartridge water brush. So all you do with this is unscrew, and there's your water cartridge. You fill it up from the tap.
Yep.
Pop that back on, and all this in here is a valve, and this helps control the flow, so you don't need to worry about getting blobs and floods and things like that. So you get 2 of those. You also have the water spray. I love this because it is so fine and so accurate. You can mist with it, but I love it for using with these palettes because it gives me the opportunity to just mist the little watercolour cake that I want to use. I'm going to use a couple of these, so I'm going to mist those just to prime them.
And we'll give you details of that palette in a few minutes at the end of the demo. So.
And then you work that into a nice creamy consistency. And then we can paint. So you can see when they're watered down quite a lot, these paints are quite translucent. You can make them a lot thicker and a lot creamier, and then you'll get much more coverage with them. But if you're going to paint over a stamp, you don't want to obliterate the detail of that. So just water it down. You'll still get this incredible shimmer from these. And then I do just whiz mine through water to clean it quickly, but you don't need to. You can just wipe it off on some tissue, squeeze a bit of clean water through, and you're ready to go.
So it kind of self-cleans itself.
Yeah, the tip may get stained, but it won't affect the next colour you go into. So I've gone into the lilac now, and I'm just going to hold my brush very vertically. I just want to take off the excess water. And I'm going to hold my brush very vertically and flick. So I'm just going to highlight the lines that are there on the stamp, so I can use those as a guide. I just don't want it too wet because it'll go over the whole petal if I have too much on my brush.
Well, lots of you are coming in for the main collection. Sandra's in, Primrose in Hampshire as well. Just 2 other people putting these in their baskets right now. The whole thing under £95 with split pay available as well. We offer that on certain products as a company, so you're not doing it through another company, it's through us. Just £31.99 or £31.66, sorry, £31.66 your first payment of 3 if you want to use split pay, otherwise just £94.99 on your credit card.
And then I'm going to go into the green, this lovely lime green here. I love this palette, it's got such a beautiful range of colours.
I love all the palettes.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got
Is it 12?
10 or 11.
10.
Do you know, I did look it up and I've forgotten again. It's no good, this getting on a bit. I think it's 10.
Right.
But there are metallics, there are brights. Oh, there's a whole gamut of them. It's wonderful. So there we've gone from a plain bit of white card to now a very pretty and very shimmery little flower. It is a bit like a gerbera or perhaps a daisy.
Yeah.
So I've done a couple of those. They've come out both slightly differently, but that's fine. And I've also done some of the leaves, because there is a set of leaves. Same thing, you can die cut from plain cardstock with these, and they've got beautiful details. So this one I particularly like. It reminds me of Honesty, which I used to remember as a kid picking the little pods and pulling them apart. I used to think they were magical. I think that's what that is, but I'm not sure. You'd have to ask Helen what she had in mind there. And then you've got all sorts of selections of leaves, tropical leaves. I don't know what that is, but I love it. All sorts of things. So you've a real range there as well to go at. And I've already painted a couple of these, but I just want to show you how you can shade and add more depth. So this one I started to colour using this green here, which is quite a surprising teal colour. And then I went over it with some of the limey green again. Let me just mist that because it needs activating a bit more to get it going. So a little spritz of water straight into that little pad of paint. And these watercolour palettes, they're hard watercolour cakes. You get 12 in a palette and they're all removable. So if you want to arrange your own palette, or if you are going out and about watercolouring and you want certain colours with you, or you're working on a project and you need certain colours, you can pop them all into one little case and take them with you. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, they are great. And I know lots of you have a collection of them at home. Maybe you've got 3 or 4, maybe even you've got the whole 10. Details coming for the ones that we're using in the show, though, in a sec.
So I've just added another layer over that, and you can see because I'd already done a little bit of shading on it prior to adding that top coat, it's now got some interesting details. And I'm just going to add a bit of that green just to one side of that leaf, and it just gives it a little bit of dimension rather than it being just a flat colour.
Well, that palette that you're using, Gwen, there it is on the screen if you want it. It's only £22.98, and that's going to give you all those beautiful shades of purple, lime, aqua in there as well. Summer Garden, that's set 4 for OB2806, and the metallics we have available for you as well, and they are more kind of copper and gold and brass and champagne. So yeah, the metallics with all your golds in there, that is £22.99 as well. I know that's always a really popular one, the metallics.
Yes, well, it fits everything, doesn't it? You can also dry brush with these, and you can stencil with them, which I'm going to show you in a second.
Okay.
So I'm just going to paint a piece of cardstock here. This is going to just act as a backdrop to my sentiment. Something I like to do when I'm creating a project is try and make everything match. So if I'm using an ink pad or I'm using a watercolour like this, I will bring it into different elements across the project so that everything tones beautifully. And with a palette like this, of course, you can do that endlessly because they last a very long time. Really super. So I'll just paint that and I'll pop it to one side to let that dry. Now, what I want to show you is one of the stencils, and I'm going to do some watercolour painting. Now, this is something you might think, hang on a minute, you can't use watercolour through a stencil. Well, actually, yes, you can, but you have to do it in a certain way.
Okay.
So, oops, I've shut my palette. They're quite hard to undo, these. They're not going to spill open in your bag, that's for sure.
That's good.
Which is a good thing. So I'm going to use a very large flat brush, and this is the key. It could really do with being bigger, but I didn't have one, but that's going to be okay. And I need to activate my paint, so I'm going to go into this sort of periwinkle blue here. And I need this to be very, very watery. So I'm going to use it in conjunction with my craft mat here. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to put the stencil over my piece of watercolour card, and we have brought you some watercolour card in the show as well. Then I'm going to pull out the paint onto my craft mat because I want it really, 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 really watery. I can't emphasise that enough. And the trick with this is to have it really, really, really watered down, and then you need to use your brush really flat. And you just need to touch it once or twice and then leave it alone. If you overwork it, it's going to get under your stencil. And this is why traditionally you'd think you can't use watercolour, because if it's too wet, it just seeps under. But if you use this method, it will work. So I need to keep adding water, keep picking up that paint.
So maybe this is a technique you've never thought of doing with your stencils at home. Give it a go.
But keep your brush really flat.
Yeah.
If you've missed a bit, don't be tempted to go back, because that's when it will start to seep.
Right.
And I think what happens is where the paint meets the edge of the stencil, it's like it forms almost a seal, and it puddles around the edge of each open area. So you get a really lovely effect.
When you consider that stencils are so inexpensive, what they can do and how you can use them, there's so many ways. $16.99 is the bundle, and that's giving you, I think, is it 4?
Yes, there are three big backgrounds, and then that lovely tulip garland, tulip bouquet, sorry.
Actually, we're taking the price down even more. That's not the
What?
price. It's going to be $14.99 for all 4 stencils. There you go. $14.99 for all 4. Amazing. LB2852, I think. Oh,
So-
LB2882, sorry.
So as you can see, I'm keeping this really wet. And another reason for not going back and going over is your card will start to bow as it wets.
Yeah.
So the more you go back, the more likely you are to get that seepage. So I need to just carefully now lift this off. And yes, it's very puddly, but that's okay.
I like that.
And then when it's dry, you'll get an incredible shimmer from this paint. But if you want that image more perfect, that's easy to achieve as well. So let me show you that. So I'll just pop this to one side to dry. It dries with kind of an edge. It sort of settles. It's really pretty.
Okay.
So here's one that I've already done, and that's dry. So you can see what I mean. It's almost got a line where the paint has settled.
And you've still got that lovely kind of mica shine from it as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It really shimmers. It's really beautiful. Yeah. So I just need to dry off my stencil, and then I can do the next step.
Remember, everything on the show is available on the website right now. If you just want on one set of dies, or you want the dies on their own, or the stamps on their own, they're all available in smaller groups and also as individuals too. But the stencils, get all 4 for $14.99, so only about £3, just over £3 each, which is pretty amazing.
So I would say this one is probably slightly better than the one I've just done because it's a bit more fully covered. But if yours isn't and you want to add to it, then all you do is pop your stencil back in place, and then we've brought for you some of our lovely Colour Cloud inks. These are a dye-based ink in a pot.
Yep.
They've got a ring of sponge, and it's this thick, and it's saturated with ink. Then you have a felt pad on the top, like a traditional ink pad. And these are really designed for blending, but you can splatter with them, you can paint with them. You can stamp with them. They're absolutely wonderful.
They are brilliant. And they come in sets of 2. And
So-
so which one are you using, Gwen?
I'm using the Spring Bluebell.
So, lavender lace and spring bluebell come together. So the purple and the blue together, that's set A, and that's $11.99 for both. Wow, £6 each.
So I'm just picking up some ink from the pad, and I'm wiping my brush across the top, and then I'm taking the excess off, which is something you need to get in the habit of doing if you're stenciling with paints or inks, really. Previous technique accepted. And then I can increase the detail and the coverage of each little section by filling in with ink. And also it adds a different shade. And it's really interesting because it's different every time you do it, of course. But I can just fill in the shapes. So I'll just do a little bit, but you can see those are much more perfect and solid than these are. So you do that over the whole piece of your project.
Does the mica from the paint palette still shine?
Yes,
It does.
mica will always rise to the top.
Okay.
Yeah, so you won't obliterate that at all. Right. It's really lovely. So let's start to put the card together. I want to also bring in some vellum, which we have brought you a lovely paper pack today, which contains the watercolour card, the vellum, and our coconut white cardstock, which is a bestseller.
Yeah.
I'm going to pop the stencil through my die cutting machine with a rubber mat to emboss with the stencil. I mentioned this earlier. So I can't give you definitives about your machine. I'm afraid it's something you have to experiment with.
Every machine's different. So.
Yes, but what you will need is a rubber mat, some sort of platform, and another hard plate. And what you need to remember is that your cardstock, or the material that you are going to impress, always has to go next to the stencil and with the rubber mat on the other side of it.
Okay, yep.
All right, so that's the sandwich. And what happens is the rubber mat can press down and push the material into the stencil. So then the hard mat is going to facilitate that. So with my machine, that's the sandwich I've discovered, and I'm using a mixture of manufacturers' plates here. It's not, so I've really experimented. Every machine I've got uses a different set of plates.
Well, you know the personality of your machine at home. You know what plates you need for what.
So when we take this out, what you'll find is you've got an imprinted pattern in the vellum. It's actually cut a little bit of that. It probably was a bit harsh, that sandwich. If that happens, reduce your height a little bit. Maybe use a thinner rubber mat or a thinner platform if you've got one. But it really is a matter of experimenting. But that you can do that with cardstock, you can do it with vellum. It's really lovely technique to do. So, here's one I did earlier. What have I done with it? Oh, losing the plot. Oh, I have as well. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Right. So I've got a piece already done, and this is going to go on top of my starry background. So vellum is a little bit problematic when you come to stick it down because any adhesive generally will show through. But I have found that our Cosmic Shimmer Glue is quite good for not being too visible. So I'm going to pop a little bit of glue just on the white areas of my card where I want it to stick.
The vellum's in the show as well. It's nice that you've put a paper pad collection together.
Yeah, well, these are things I use all the time, and I think sometimes you forget because you're so familiar with them. And so it's good to bring them and let people get their hands on them if they want to. So I've just glued that down one edge. And then I'm going to wrap some twine around this. So I've already got some double-sided tape on the back just to hold the ends. And I'm going to start by sticking one end here. And then I can wrap that down that left-hand edge. Just be aware that if you pull it too tight, you are going to get a bit of a boomerang effect. So just try to not stick it to what you're leaning on. It's very early in the morning.
That's giving you kind of a rustic feel to it.
I like a bit of twine.
Yeah, me too.
It works wonders. So just twist those across each other in an interesting way. And then if you're not ready to complete your project, just pop that back in from the tape back on, and then you won't be sticking it to everything like I was. All right, so that's our main panel. That's going to go onto a base card like that. Now, I don't need to worry about sticking this edge down because I'm going to build a flower spray here now.
Okay.
So going back to our lovely flowers, let's have a look. So I want a couple of them across the join like that. I can bring in my beautiful painted leaves. And you can play around with these. You can snip these down if you didn't want it quite so long. A couple of leaves at the bottom. I'm rubbish at flower arranging, so don't judge me on that.
Now, the complete collection is back on the screen. And remember, Helen Colebrook is the actual designer. It's her first collection with Creative Expressions. You get the dies, you get the stamps, you get the stencils. The whole thing works together beautifully well, whether you're making a card, like Gwen is, or whether you're using journals and making memory books, that sort of thing. She does a little bit of both. And this whole collection kind of transcends both, doesn't it?
It really does. And I've had a lovely, lovely time just playing with these products and working out just how versatile they really are, and they are. I mean, you can create, obviously, your journal pages, you can create your cards, but you can do scrapbooking, you can do other projects, three-dimensional projects, pictures, you know, for home decor. All of that is achievable with these lovely products. It's a fabulous range. And I always love a good collection that coordinates. I think it just makes life that little bit easier. I think sometimes the hardest thing in crafting is making sure everything sort of works together.
Definitely.
Even down, trying to colour match and things like that. So I'm just using the Cosmic Shimmer glue and I'm popping in some leaves to create a bit of an arrangement. And then, as I mentioned earlier, I did this little painted piece and I've got some sentiments from our wordies, which you might have seen. There may be some on the website. They're sheets of strip words that you can just snip up.
And pads, aren't they?
They're single sheets. You get four sheets in a packet.
Yeah.
And they're on lovely cardstock that you can colorise if you want to as well, and you can hot foil them. But anyway, we haven't got those in the show today, but do have a look on the website. There might be some there.
And they're very simple, but they do stand out really well. It's surprising because they're quite small. You wouldn't think they would, but they do.
But also, you don't have to cut them as thinly as I have, but if you back them onto something else, that increases their impact as well, doesn't it? So I've glued those onto that little painted piece I did earlier, and then I can just snip these out and apply them to my project. Or you can use a stamp, of course, stamped sentiment, anything you like. This is just a suggestion. So I'm going to pop part of it up there. And then I'll offset the other piece. Oh, it's gone very quiet.
The concentration of you
I know.
trimming it.
I might pop that up there. So proud of you, and you're amazing. And set that onto your card. So there's that one. Let's find the one I did earlier. There's a slight difference. There we go.
Beautiful.
So I've just changed my leaves around a little bit. I've put a little bit of gold on the edge of those flowers as well, which is quite nice. So there you go.
Okay, well, let's remind you of what Gwen's been using in that demonstration then. The first thing, the heart of it, obviously, is the main collection from Helen, which is brand new today. I did go through it earlier on in the show, but just in case you missed it, you've got all of these on the top row, well, are dies. So you've got that beautiful wreath and all the foliage and the beautiful petals as well. Whether they are kind of fantasy flowers or real flowers, the jury's out on that, but basically at the end of the day, they're gorgeous. They really, really are. So whether you're using them in your journals, whether you're using them in your memory books, into scrapbooking, or your card making, they work for both, all genres really. That's why Gwen was saying about the versatility of it. So then down the bottom, you've then got, of course, the same in stamps. You've got the stamps and the dies that match together beautifully. You've also got the days of the week and the months of the year. Now, that's perfect if you're doing journaling, and perfect if you want to make diaries and that sort of thing for next year and years to come. So they're really handy to have those. Then you've also got the stencils, which we were talking about and saying how versatile they were as well. 4 stencils in this collection. The whole thing together should be nearly £120, about 117 today. It's £94.99, or if you want split pay, we can offer it to you in 3 payments. So it's 1 payment today, 1 payment in January, the final payment in February next year. VJ2885 is the product code for that if you want it. That's the big bundle. Now the watercolour palettes, now these always massively fly. You love them. They're really, really cute, and also they're packed full of quality micas. They've got that wonderful shimmer and shine to them. This is the palette that Gwen was using. That's Summer Garden. So you've got your lavenders and purples and lilacs in there, a lime green and a silver too. So they're beautiful colourways. £22.98 if you want the summer palette or Summer Garden. And then the metallics, which is always probably the most popular colour palette that we do. Here you've got all those different shades of gold you can think of. You've also, of course, got your silver and platinum in there too. And you get 3, 6, 9, 12 of them in total. And like Gwen said, all the palettes are removable, so you can actually play around with the order that you've got them and mix colours from one palette to another. Now we've also got a bundle of the Dry as Clear glue. Now this is something again that isn't always featured in our shows, but is available, and I know so many of you watching, the Cosmic Shimmer glue is a hero product. It really, really is. You're going to get the full 125mm size of that. You're also going to get your fine tip applicator, so you can decant from there into there, and they give you really microscopic fine details on the nibs for all that detail gluing that you need to do. And you're also getting your pearl pins in there as well. £13.99 gets you the whole lot, okay? So if you want to do your detail gluing, that's what you need those bottles for as well. And that's XH2871. The pins, Gwen, what's the significance of those in with the glue? Do you know?
Well, they're replacement pins, because sometimes the pins get bent or you lose them.
Oh, to go in the top. I
yes,
see. Sorry,
or
yeah.
sometimes the little bead will ping off the end.
That's a good point, because I kept forgetting that. Yeah, you get them in there already, but if you lose them, you've got replacements, right? And also they won't rust either, because sometimes if you use other pins that aren't stainless steel, they will rust and turn your glue a horrible shade of brown, which isn't good. £13.99 then for that collection, and then we've also got the paper collection. Now the card collection. This is, I don't think we've done this before. Apart from yesterday when Gwen was here with the first show. Let's show you exactly what you've got. You hear lots of people, Jamie, Gwen, all the Creative Expressions people talking about all of this. We've got the A4 vellum. Now here you've actually got, how many sheets of vellum? This is 25 A4 sheets of vellum, okay? This is the bundle I'm going through now at the moment. You do get all of this.
Yes, you do, yeah.
You've got your coconut white, which is that hero product that you hear Gwen talking about, and Jamie. There's your coconut white. As well as that, we've then got your A4 watercolour card included as well. You're going to get 20 sheets of that as well. And then you've got this lovely selection of, I suppose, it's not pearlescent cardstock, is it?
No, it's our flat foundations cardstock.
Right.
So it's a matte finish.
Matte finish.
Beautiful colours, great for stamping on. Colour core all the way through. So you can tear it, die cut it, you won't get a white edge on it. You can stamp on it, paint on it. It's wonderful stuff.
And
Love it.
double-sided as well. Now, individually, if you just want that bundle, that's £6.50. Okay, and that's AD 2887 if you just want that on its own. The bundle, though, if you go for all of it, you're going to get basically all of that card stash in different variations at an amazing discounted price. So that's on the website now if you want to go for it. So that's, remember, going to get you your vellum, it's going to get you a coconut white, it's going to get you a watercolour card, and it's also going to get this coloured cardstock for you as well. But if you just want that on its own, that is £6.50, and that is AD 2887. Now the books again, we haven't got many of these left, I don't think. The books are great. We don't get half as many of these as we would like to get in stock. This is the bullet journal. Now this is the one that's got the tiny little dots, very discreetly printed on it for your bullet journaling. So that just helps to get you the things in the right place and when you're designing the page and so on. And there's actually 128 pages in here. It's a discreet black cover. You've got your elasticated marker as well as your fabric marker in there as well. So it could be that you want to make this into a journal. It could be that you want to make this into a diary, whatever you want to do with them. Basically, they're blank pages, but they do have the marker dots on them. The other one is your travel journal. Now, this doesn't have any markings on it whatsoever. Completely plain. It could be that you want to do some watercolouring, you want to do some stamping, whatever you want to do in here. You heard Gwen say the papers are lovely quality, so it will take your water-based products as well. And that is, again, just £9.99, and that's one BP 2860. BP 2860 for under a £10 note. Hard-backed, of course, as well. Now the inks as well, the Cosmic Shimmer inks. Now we've got these, remember, which are Spring Bluebell, and you've also got your Lavender Lace, and you get both of them for that price of £11.99, so only £6 each. And remember, you've got that soaked sponge of ink in the bottom, and then you've of course got your adapter at the top, which allows you then to put it onto your daubers and onto your sponges very, very easily. So you just basically push it down, and that sucks the ink up to the top. So that's the first two colours. The other colours we've got are Soft Cerise, and you've got your Fresh Grass. So basically the price is going to go down to where it did a minute ago. So that Soft Cerise is a different shade of pink, and the Fresh Grass, of course, is a lovely shade of green. So if you want both of those two together, you can see the colours easier that way. They're again just £6 each, but I know loads of you are fans of your Colour Cloud. PF2808, PF2808 if you want those two today. And everything else in the show, of course, is available too. We've got our gel pens available. I've just noticed, actually, we've got some Leafy Walk washi tape. Now, this is brand new. Again, it's from Helen, the designer of the collection today. And these washi tapes are really useful for anyone that does journaling. People love using washi tape as decorative borders and that sort of thing. So you've got here both colourways. You've got the green and you've got the pink, and they come in two separate sizes as well. You've got your 5 meters on each, and it's basically a 2 centimetre and 4 centimetres. So the two smaller ones are 2 centimetres each, and the large one is 4 centimetres wide, each of them 5 metres long, and they're just £11.99 for both of them.
They are in the big bundle as well.
Oh, are they? They come
they're
with the main
included
collection?
in the big bundle.
Ah, right, I didn't realise that. Oh, they're in
And
the
they
big bundle as well.
The designs on them match the paper pad, they match the stamps, the stencils, so everything coordinates beautifully.
Excellent. So £11.99 on their own, or they are in the big collection as well, which I missed earlier. JH2890. 2890. Now, the stock update on the books are going very, very quickly. I know loads of you are coming in for those books. Don't miss out on them. We've got less than 20 left of the books. So whether you want the one that's plain paper or whether you want the ones with dots inside, both of them available. One's £1 more than the other, but they are available on the website right now. Okay, Gwen, we've got enough time for another demo.
Well, I'll just quickly talk about the journals a little bit more, if that's all right.
Yeah, sure.
So this is the plain pages in the journal. It's a beautiful cartridge paper, a good weight. I've got some pages on the go here that I'm working on, and I've got a couple here that I've completed the decorative elements. I've not done any writing because I didn't want to cloud the page at this point, but I've used one of the lovely floral stencil and the colour cloud inks on here and shaded that and just done a corner here and a corner here. And then some bits of paper that I had just scraps lying about. And a little envelope made from the paper pad, and you can put a secret letter in there or something that you want to preserve that doesn't want to be actually glued onto a page perhaps. I've used one of the gel pens to do a decorative border and just some doodling, so that's something else you can do, and again reflected that on the opposing corner. I like to make my 2 pages a pair if I can. So I've worked through a few pages. Here's one that I've done using some of the paper pad, some of the stamps, one of the dies, one of Helen's stamps as well. And this stencil here I've done using that watercolour technique with the stencil that I've just shown you with the star background.
Sure.
I did it straight onto my journal page, so I was a bit like, ooh, but it worked perfectly. And what's lovely is it hasn't bled through to the back of that page.
And the quality of the paper is
really
super.
stunning.
Yeah.
And what I also love about this one, in the back you have a pocket. This is a really large gusseted pocket, and it has a little pocket here, a little split where you can put a tag or something like that.
Yep.
So if you want to make a note of what's in there, I've got a little hang tag that I made with a punch. You can just pop in what's in there, or again, keep a page that's in progress, all your bits and pieces, or photographs or bits that you're working on, pop those in there. So that's a really lovely addition.
I mean, maybe something's happened in your life over the last year that you actually want to kind of make a journal about. Maybe you've got a newborn, maybe you've got a new animal in the house or whatever, and you're thinking, well, a photo album's all well and good, but it's not very inspiring. To have a journal that you can incorporate photographs in as well and tell a story.
Yeah, but also you can take it with you because it's portable. So
Yeah.
if you are out and about doing things with the family or the pets and whatever, you can record it as you go, sort of. So
totally.
it's quite good for that. But if you want to dress it up a little bit, again, the paper pad is beautiful for that. So you can create a lining for the back of the book. I've created a cover for the pocket and recreated the split that's in there. So once that's stuck down, that split lines up perfectly. You have to do a bit of measuring for that, but it is doable. So, and then you can put that tag back in the pocket or whatever. So I've done that on the front with a different paper, and I've rounded the corner to match the book, inked the edges, and then stuck that down. And that just makes your book look a lot more professional and a really pretty addition. And then you could add a title, you know, like a book plate if you wanted to in there. And then off you go decorating. So that's the plain pages. And with the bullet journal, again, you've got that ribbon bookmark and you've got the elastic closure. You've got this lovely dot grid. And I started using Helen's journaling stamps to create almost like a calendar, but also as a bullet journal. I've got some goals I want to try and achieve. And I've got some to-do lists, which I'm very good at making. But with this stamp set, you've got, as Dave said earlier, the days of the week, the months of the year. So you could literally, if you want, create a calendar. And you could make gifts with these as well. That would be a lovely thing, a gift with some photographs perhaps. You can go through all the days of the week. The dots help you line up the stamps, which is great as well.
Yes.
But then if you actually want to do bullet journaling, the dots help you place your bullet points all the way down your page. I've used our gel pens that we've brought for you today. That's why we've got them, because they're great for journaling and writing. And these stamps are done in Helen's own lettering. She does lettering, handwriting beautifully, and these stamps are based on that.
I mean,
so
maybe,
it's lovely to have
maybe
that.
you put down your thoughts of the day. Maybe make it part of your daily routine at the end of the day that you actually stamp the day of the week on the sheet and then put a picture of something you've done or write what you got up to or
Yeah,
whatever.
it can be quite simple, can't it? You don't have to go, it's not like a major project. You can just do bits here and there. I know Helen says she sets aside a quarter of an hour, 20 minutes each evening and just writes about her day and things that she's
It's
achieved.
lovely to look back on. You know,
Yeah, it
5,
really
10 years
is.
time.
Yeah. So this one has got the pocket in the back again, and again 128 pages, which is a lot.
Yeah.
It's great. It's going to keep going all year. That I love
And again,
them.
we don't get half as many of these as
Hardback.
we would like. Yep, definitely.
Yep.
And of course, it's a blank canvas. That cover can be left black if you want it to be, or you can decorate it however you choose. We've got about 10 minutes left.
Okay.
thereabouts.
So I want to show you again some of the lovely flowers that we can stamp. This one's come from this set, which I think is called Blooming Marvellous, and it's this star flower here. So I've stamped it. I can die cut that with the matching die, which is on the die set Flower Garden. So if I just cut one of those. The trick is finding the right way around. There we are. And again, really, really, really easy to line up. I mean, I've had such struggles with some of these stamps and dies in the past.
Now, remember, the big bundle's got everything in it, but if you want the stamps on their own, we've just put that detail up on the screen for you. So that's going to be 4 sets of stamps, including the days of the week and the months of the year. So you can make your own calendars and diaries. $27.99 is the price for all those stamps.
There we go. Again, beautifully accurate. Oh, I've just slipped a bit, but if I hadn't, it would have been. That was my fault, not the die, because I'm rushing now, trying to get things done. So that's how you can achieve the flowers. And then I wanted to show you something a little bit different, which is this leaf. Because the die, you do have 2 different dies. We showed you the one earlier that had the little cutouts, but you get a solid one as well. Now, I found after I'd stamped my leaf, I couldn't see where I was putting that. So what I'd really like to show you is how to get around that problem.
Ah, right.
So bring in your stamping press, and you will need this for this technique. I'm going to put down a piece of paper that I've stamped the leaf on, and I've got a negative here that I've cut the leaf out of. And I'm going to place that over my stamped design. So I can see the stamp through that window. Okay. Then I'm going to take the stamp, which is on the Blooming Marvellous, and the stamp will snap into that aperture.
Ah, clever.
So you just click that in. And then when you ink your stamp, it's going to sit perfectly in that window. But I need a die cut first. Where've they gone? Oh, come on. Oh, fingers and thumbs.
Yeah, it's taken me a long time to work out how to do this, so it's a good little tip.
It did me as well. But I was so frustrated with trying to stamp and missing it. And then it just sort of clicked. So
Perfect.
you put your die cut into the aperture, and
There it is.
Perfect.
Stamp. That's the way to do it.
so that's how you get over the... If you've got a type that hasn't got a visibility, you know, it's a solid die or whatever.
Can I just remind everybody as well, the Cosmic Shimmer Glue is going very fast. I think it's one of those must-have products, and it's a combination I've not seen been put together before. Wondering what the pins were there for? Of course, they're there to keep your glue nice and fresh. In the top there, you get loads of spares. It's not going to rust your glue either. A big 125mm pot, plus the glue applicators and the spare pins, $13.99. That's one of those kind of under the tree presents, isn't it, really? Everyone who crafts will make use of this and love this. $13.99 your price, XH2871. XH2871 for the Cosmic Shimmer Glue.
And again, this is something we always say we do, but we never show it. And
No.
I just thought, you know what? The people out there who perhaps think, I don't quite know what you mean, Gwen. So this is how the glue comes. We do 3 different sizes of glue. We do a small one, a medium one, which is this one, which I use all the time, and the large one. And this is I use to decant into the smaller bottles. So you screw off the top. Ugh, my hands aren't working.
It's been out in the cold. It's frozen.
I'm starting to get a bit of arthritis in my thumbs, and they don't. Would you mind? Because my thumbs don't grip.
There you go.
You can do that one as well. Thank you.
There you go.
Cheers. Thanks, Dave.
No worries.
Yeah, so all you do then, you open the little bottle, open the big bottle, and then carefully direct it into that smaller bottle and fill up.
I mean, the nozzle on the big bottle is quite fine.
Oh,
but
it is?
The smaller bottles are really, really fine for intricate work, so...
But I just find this much easier to work with, as you say, Dave, for very intricate little bits and pieces that we need to do. So then you've got the metal nozzle, which comes off for cleaning. If you need to clean it, put it in hot water, and you can pick out any set glue if it's getting clogged. And then your pin, of course, which goes right in and keeps it fresh. And then we've given you those replacement pins as well, because you will bend them. I've bent mine loads of times trying to get them back in.
How many nozzles get clogged up?
Yes.
It's just a regular occurrence. Those pins are good at declogging your nozzles as well. So
Yeah, exactly. So I might not get this card finished, but let's make a start. So
4 minutes. Don't think we will.
We're not going to get it finished.
To be continued.
But I want to show you this this lovely leafy wreath. If I set it against the paper, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. Now, this, I think, you could use all year round for autumn, for Christmas, for spring, summer, absolutely beautiful. So I want to paint that with the paint palette, surprisingly. So I'm going to bring back in the summer garden.
That's been popular today as well. You love the palettes. They're great.
I'm just going to use a smaller flat brush and this lovely vibrant green. And a flat brush, just quickly, honestly, it's something that's really quick to do. I mean, you might think, well, I'm not a painter, I don't fancy it. Well, it's really quick.
What times are your shows this afternoon?
So I'm back at 3 o'clock and then 5 o'clock.
3 and 5.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Which is good because I've got so much more to show you.
Yeah.
Such a lot to talk about. It's such a lovely collection.
And remember, you can order in between shows if you want to. We've got the whole collection available. We've got it broken down into smaller bundles, and you can buy individuals. So there literally is something for everybody's budget. And just on a quick note, the Jelly Roll pens as well, they always absolutely fly. We've got these available in sets of 3. Glad you got these back for us. They're made by Sakura, so you know they're of the finest quality. And they... Are they the glitter ones? Or
No, they're Moonlight, which means that they'll show up on dark surfaces. So you can use them on black and they'll show just as they are. The colour stays vibrant and true, even on black. Fantastic stuff.
So these are available. You've got Moonlight in the purple, blue and grey. You've also got it in the dark purple, dark blue and the turquoise as well. And they're fine liners. They're 0.35 of a mil, so very fine. But as you heard Gwen say, perfect for using on dark cardstock. These are just $5.99. Are they $5.99 for 3? Yeah, so yeah, $5.99 each, so under £12 if you wanted all 6 of those. VA2837 is the product code and the item number. Gwen, we're nearly out of time, unfortunately. We've got literally 1 minute left.
Right, well, I can show you something in 1 minute. So I've also, funnily enough, used the Moonlights on this. I just wanted to pick out these little berries. So you can just go in and add, look how the coverage of these is immense.
Is it a roller ball?
It's a little roller ball. It has a valve to control the ink flow. And the ink is superb. So I would colour all of those little berries, and then I've also just enhanced the wreath here and there by adding a little bit of the green ink. And the shimmer from the paint will still be coming through because mica, as I said before, always rises to the top. So that's the beginnings of a card. I'll finish it off at 3 o'clock. If you can join me then, that would be wonderful.
That'd be fantastic. Thanks for your demos,
Thank
Gwen.
you.
Brilliant to see you. Remember, the collection, brand new from, of course, Helen Colebrook, is there on the website for you to have a little look at. Remember, she is a journaler, but these are card-making dies as well as journal designing dies as well. Have a look on the website. You'll see those fantastic journals and the Cosmic Shimmer colour clouds and everything else as well from Creative Expressions. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Gwen's back at 3.